Okay, I want to talk about LeBron James once again. Obviously, LeBron James has won 4 NBA titles. He's got 4 Finals MVPs for his career, 4 regular season MVPs. He's a 16-time All-Star. 5 times he's made all defensive first team. He was a scoring champion back in 2008. He led the league in assists this past year in 2020. He was the 2004 Rookie of the Year. He's 3rd all-time in career points. And as I speak today, LeBron James is in his 18th season, and he's still arguably maybe the best player in all basketball in year number 18. That's amazing. That's unprecedented. However, despite all those accomplishments and despite all those facts, LeBron James winning a 4th NBA championship does not make him the greatest basketball player of all time. He's not the GOAT. LeBron James is not the GOAT. He's not the greatest basketball player of all time. The greatest basketball player of all time, still to this day, is Michael Jeffrey Jordan of the Chicago Bulls. And while I compare LeBron James and Michael Jordan to one another, I've compared them in the past. I honestly really don't like making these comparisons just because I still think the gap is somewhat wide between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I do think LeBron James is closing the gap on Michael Jordan, but when it comes to comparing the two, I always use this analogy. Tom Brady is considered the greatest quarterback of all time by most NFL fans. Most people consider Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time. And a big reason why is because of his accomplishments. He's won 6 Super Bowls. He's got 4 Super Bowl MVPs. And for what it's worth, Tom Brady, he's the all-time touchdown pass leader. He's won 3 MVPs. He's accomplished a lot. And over time, he's piled up great numbers and great statistics. However, you will never hear anyone say that Tom Brady is more talented than Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes or Dan Marino. Tom Brady does not win the argument for the most gifted quarterback or even being one of the 5 most physically talented quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady at his peak is not better than Patrick Mahomes. He's not better than Aaron Rodgers. He's not better than Dan Marino. He's not the most talented guy, okay? Now, obviously, talent doesn't mean everything, but when you watch Tom Brady play, you're not wowed as much as when you watch some of these other guys I mentioned, okay? You'll never hear someone say that Tom Brady is more talented than Aaron Rodgers because it's just flat out wrong. Not only is Michael Jordan more accomplished than LeBron James, I believe that he's just flat out better at basketball. Michael Jordan is the more talented player. The only thing LeBron James does better than Michael Jordan is rebound the basketball because he's a little bit bigger, he's a little bit taller, he's a little bit stronger, and he passes the basketball better than Michael Jordan. He does 2 things better. That's it. Outside of that, when you look at Michael Jordan, we could talk about the fact that he's won 10 scoring titles. LeBron James has won 1 scoring title in his career. And keep in mind, Michael Jordan, he played in a better defensive era than LeBron James. Michael Jordan, 10 scoring titles in 15 seasons. He laps LeBron James in scoring. Not even close. Michael Jordan is the better scorer. Michael Jordan has more regular season MVPs than LeBron James. 5 MVPs to 4 MVPs for LeBron James. And we can all admit that both Michael Jordan and LeBron James were kind of robbed of some MVPs in the past. The MVP went to Charles Barkley and Karl Malone a couple of times when it probably should have went to Michael Jordan. LeBron's been robbed of some MVP awards as well, but MJ's got him beat in that regard. Michael Jordan is the better defender between him and LeBron James. Michael Jordan, 9 times, was selected to first team all defense. LeBron James has only been selected to first team all defense 5 times. Michael Jordan has won a defensive player of the year award. LeBron James has never won a defensive player of the year. How many times has LeBron James led the NBA in steals? 0. How many times has Michael Jordan done that? 3. 3 times. Michael Jordan is the better scorer. He's the better shooter. He's the better defender. He's the better free throw shooter. He's the better shooter overall, like I said, okay? Michael Jordan fits into a system better than LeBron James. He's a better off-ball player than LeBron James. I've always said this. The problem sometimes with LeBron James-led teams is that LeBron James has to be the system. He has to have the ball in his hands at all times to be significantly effective. LeBron James is not the greatest shooter in the world. He's not the best. He's not the best off-ball player in the world. And sometimes LeBron James, you see him getting destroyed by the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. The reason why that is because LeBron James is the system. And I'm sorry, if one player is your system, you will not beat the Golden State Warriors. You will not beat the San Antonio Spurs. I understand LeBron James. He's an amazing passer and whatnot. But LeBron James, everyone makes the argument, oh, LeBron makes his teammates better. I think what people fail to realize is this. LeBron James makes his team better, not individual players significantly better. Well, Kyrie Irving was a 20-point per game scorer before LeBron James got to Cleveland. He's still a guy that can get you 25 to 27 points on any given night if he's on his A game. Anthony Davis was a dominant player before LeBron James joined up with him in Los Angeles. He just wasn't on a great team in New Orleans, you know. Chris Bosh was a number one option on his own. Dwayne Wade was a number one option on his own. What players has LeBron James made significantly better? He's made those teams better, okay, because he's such a great individual talent. But because LeBron James has to be the system, because LeBron James has to have such a high usage rate, because LeBron James has to have the ball in his hands a whole bunch of times, sometimes that hinders the team. And while Michael Jordan definitely held the basketball a lot, Michael Jordan got to his spots very quickly and just knocked down them Jays, man. Michael Jordan, he didn't dribble the basketball a ton. He just quickly got to his spots and quickly scored, you know. He's a great off-ball player, you know. LeBron is a one-man show at times. Michael Jordan, he fits into a system better than LeBron James, okay? That's why you see his teams function at a higher rate at times than one LeBron James, okay? And both Michael Jordan and LeBron James shoot about the same percentage from the field. Michael Jordan is around 49% for his career. LeBron shoots about 50%, and that includes the years in which Michael Jordan played with the Washington Wizards. So really they shoot about the same percentage from the field, okay? And let's talk about the playoffs, you know, once again, because a lot of LeBron James fans say LeBron has never lost in the first round of the playoffs. And that's fair. Michael Jordan has. However, Michael Jordan made the playoffs as a rookie, people. LeBron James didn't make the playoffs until his third season in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony made the playoffs as a rookie. How come LeBron James couldn't make the playoffs as a rookie? Both Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James were picked top 5 in the draft. Both went to bad teams. I'm just saying, people, obviously Melo is not on LeBron's level. LeBron James is significantly better than Carmelo Anthony, but I'm just saying, Carmelo made the playoffs as a rookie. LeBron James didn't, okay? And when it comes to the NBA Finals, it always seems weird to me how LeBron James fanboys or the quote-unquote bronzesexuals have anointed LeBron James ahead of Michael Jordan when he's got a losing record in the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan has the same amount of NBA Finals wins as LeBron James has NBA Finals losses. Michael Jordan has won 6 times in the NBA Finals. LeBron James has lost 6 times in the NBA Finals. It just doesn't make sense that the greatest basketball player of all time has more Finals losses than Michael Jordan has Finals wins. I don't understand that. If Tom Brady had the same amount of Super Bowl losses as Joe Montana had Super Bowl wins, do you really think NFL folks would be calling Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time? I don't think so. I don't think most people would be saying Tom Brady's the GOAT, Tom Brady's the GOAT, because it just doesn't sound right when you say the greatest player at a singular sport has a losing record in the championship games. It just doesn't sound right to me, okay? And the thing about Michael Jordan is there's an invincibility aura to his game, you know? There's an invincibility aura about his career, you know, because in Michael Jordan's prime, once he got going, once he got Scottie Pippen by his side, he only needed Scottie Pippen, okay? That's the only real true all-star level player that he needed. Once he got Scottie Pippen by his side, he never looked back. He never lost in the biggest moments in the NBA Finals. He never truly got knocked off. In LeBron James' era, we've seen Dirk Nowitzki get his. We've seen Kevin Durant get his. We've seen Tim Duncan get his. We've seen Kawhi Leonard get his. When it comes to Michael Jordan, you never saw that. You never saw Charles Barkley get a championship ring. You never saw Karl Malone get a championship ring, etc., etc. And Michael Jordan, he's three-peated twice. How come LeBron James could not three-peat with the Miami Heat when he stacked the deck with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh? He went 2 for 2 in Miami. 2 wins and 2 losses in the NBA Finals. I deem that to be a disappointment. LeBron James underachieved with the Miami Heat. He choked versus the Dallas Mavericks. He was not very good in that series. That may be the biggest all-time choke job by a superstar in NBA history, maybe even sports history, okay? LeBron James lost in a record margin to the San Antonio Spurs back when he was in Miami. How many times has LeBron James been swept in NBA Finals matchups? He's been swept twice. Michael Jordan has never been swept in the NBA Finals. LeBron James has lost 2 times in 5 games in the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan, not only was he 6 for 6 in NBA Finals, 6 wins, 0 losses, undefeated in NBA Finals, he never let his NBA Finals series get to a 7th game. That's the difference between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, it was never close with him in these big-time games, okay? And people can say, oh, Michael Jordan, he played against bad competition. He played against weak teams in the finals. That's the narrative that's surrounding Michael Jordan, that he played watered-down competition in the NBA Finals. Okay, let's do a little calculated test right here, people. What's the average amount of wins that Michael Jordan opponents in the NBA Finals have had when they face Michael Jordan? So I did a little calculation, and I tried to figure out what's the average amount of wins an opponent had when facing Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals. The average win total for Michael Jordan opponents in the NBA Finals is 61 wins. I did the same thing for LeBron James. Do you know what LeBron James' opponents average? They average 59 wins heading into the NBA Finals when they face LeBron James. So on average, based on the amount of wins that those teams got in the regular season, LeBron, on average, faced a 59-win team when he was in the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan, on average, faced a team that won about 61 games. And keep in mind, these stats could have been skewed because LeBron James faced the 73-win Golden State Warriors, who to me are a little bit overrated based on all-time status. But LeBron got a win versus them. Congratulations. But when I hear people say, oh, Michael Jordan played in a watered-down NBA, but then when we look at the actual results, it's false. How about we just admit the fact that Michael Jordan was so much better than the opponents that he faced that we thought the NBA was watered down. Because Michael Jordan dominated so much, that's what most people thought. They thought, oh, the NBA is trash. The NBA is no good. There's no competition. When in reality, if you take Michael Jordan away from that era, it was a very competitive NBA. There were some great players and great teams that he faced, okay? And you could talk about LeBron James having more career points, more career rebounds, more career assists than Michael Jordan. Listen, LeBron James has played longer than Michael Jordan. He's going to pass him in all the statistical categories. He's going to pass him as far as the numbers go. A lot of people have passed Joe Montana on the all-time touchdown pass list. Joe Montana is not even top 10 in career touchdown passes for his career. But we know what Joe Montana presented to the table. It's the same thing with Michael Jordan. I don't need to hear, oh, Karl Malone has more points. LeBron James has more career points. Kobe Bryant has more career points. I don't care. Okay? I evaluated these guys at their peaks. Michael Jordan, at his peak, was the best of all time, and it wasn't even close. And you know what I also hate to hear? I also hate to hear that LeBron James fanboys always say, oh, Michael Jordan has so much more help than LeBron James. And some years when LeBron James got to the NBA Finals, I will admit, his supporting cast was not the greatest. We could talk about 2007. We could talk about the fact that he faced the Golden State Warriors back in the 2015 NBA Finals, where he didn't have Kyrie Irving, didn't have Kevin Love. He just wasn't going to win the NBA Finals. He just wasn't going to win that NBA Finals, okay? But keep in mind, Michael Jordan, throughout his prime, only needed one All-Star to win 6 NBA championships, and he did not lose in the finals, okay? That one All-Star was Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman did not make an All-Star team when he was in Chicago with the Bulls. Michael Jordan only needed Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen, for his career, averaged a whopping 16 points per game. LeBron James has needed Dwayne Wade, who won a championship before LeBron James won a championship, by the way. So D-Wade got his before LeBron got his. LeBron had to join D-Wade in Miami, along with Chris Bosh, who on his own, Chris Bosh was a 20-point per game scorer with the Toronto Raptors. He was one of the best players in the entire NBA before he got to Miami. Keep in mind, LeBron James has needed Kyrie Irving, a career, I believe, 20-point per game scorer. You know, most of you know Kyrie Irving is one of the top 5 point guards in all of basketball. Keep in mind, Kevin Love, when he was with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he averaged over 20 points per game as a number 1 option, okay? Keep in mind, Anthony Davis was a top 10 player before LeBron James allowed him to team up with him in New Orleans. I'm not saying LeBron James did not elevate those players to new statuses as far as winning goes, but LeBron and James at times have stacked the deck. Michael Jordan did not have to stack the deck in ways LeBron James actually did. So in reality, people, the narrative that LeBron James has had no help, that Michael Jordan always had more help than LeBron James, is just false. And people can say, oh, Michael Jordan was on a 72-win Chicago Bulls team. The reason the Chicago Bulls were the prohibitive favorites was because of one, Michael Jordan. When you have Michael Jordan on your team, as long as he just had one All-Star, keep in mind, Scottie Pippen averaged 16 points for his career, he would not be stopped. And last but not least, Michael Jordan is just flat out more clutch than LeBron James. In the postseason and regular season combined, you know who has the most buzzer beaters of all time? It's Michael Jeffrey Jordan with 9. Now, LeBron James does have 7 career buzzer beaters for his career, but LeBron James has played in 274 more career games as far as the postseason and regular season is concerned, and he still does not have more career buzzer beaters and more career clutch shots, in my opinion, than Michael Jeffrey Jordan, okay? So, in reality, people, LeBron James fanboys, you gotta slow it down a little bit. LeBron James winning a 4th NBA championship does not make him the greatest basketball player of all time. And as I speak today in 2020, Michael Jordan is still the greatest basketball player of all time. And there's still sort of a wide gap between him and everyone else that has ever played the game of basketball. That's just my opinion, though. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.